So, once again, my name is Carissa, and I'm an intuitive coach and a Reiki master. And we are going to be talking about creating a life that you absolutely love. So, to dive in, top 3 strategies for creating a life that you love. So, number 1, stop putting happiness in the future. Right? It sounds so simple. So stop putting happiness in the future. So when I say this, you might feel some resistance to it. So what do you mean? I'm going to be happy when I have the perfect relationship. I'm going to be happy when my job is just no longer stressful. I'm going to be happy when I have that house or that material item. I'm going to be happy when. So that puts happiness in the future. So that then makes happiness an external game. That makes happiness outside of the now. So really just taking a look, and will you ever really, really allow yourself to be happy? I played that game for a long time, right? Like, I'll be happy when this happens and that happens and that happens. But I kept moving the bar. I kept like, oh, I'll be happy when, okay, finally, like in 2 months, I'll finally have this dollar amount in my account and I'll feel super safe and secure. And then I'll have this, and then I'll be able to be happy. That just put happiness outside of me. So happiness here, I'm here. It's just like right here. Like I'm always moving the bar. I'm always chasing happiness. Happiness is always outside of this moment. So there is something that I wanted to read to you, and I'll read it twice. So it's okay if you don't catch it the first time. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Nothing for happiness. Everything out of happiness. I'm going to read that again. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Nothing for happiness. Everything out of happiness. That's such a different place of being. That puts happiness in here. That makes happiness an internal game. So when we put happiness out in the future, like I'll be happy when, right? That just devalues the present moment. That makes the future more important than right now. That makes this moment and this time in your life a dress rehearsal, right? I value my future and I value this more than I value being happy right now in this moment. So it's devaluing the present moment. But what if you could actually allow yourself to feel happiness like right now, right in this moment? So just for a moment, because we all just went through a guided meditation, let's see if we can kind of soften ourselves up and see if we can sit in happiness. So just for a moment, try to relax everything out and see if you can just sit in the vibration of like gooey, ooey happiness, like whatever that feels like for you. Just like your heart bursting open, joy, peace, zen, abundance, plenty, like all those feels. See if you can feel that happiness. So happiness could be in the moment. It doesn't necessarily have to be attached to anything. And really allowing yourself to be happy in this moment. So regardless of what's going on out here, there's always things going on out here. There's always a crisis. There's always urgent. There's always somebody needs something, but you can do it from a place of I'm happy. And so internally cultivated versus externally cultivated. That's huge personal power. Internally crafted and cultivated happiness, being happy for no reason, just because that's who you are, that's power. That is way different than putting external happiness, like happiness attached to something external. So that's going to give you huge amounts of personal power, just walking around in happiness. My happiness isn't attached to anything. I'm going to allow myself to feel happy now. We actually live in a universe of copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So if you feel a feeling, the universe doesn't know good or bad what that feeling is. It just thinks that you want more of it. So if you're sitting in worry, it's going to copy, paste worry. So you're just going to keep getting more things to worry about. The universe just does the copy, paste. So what if you were sitting in happiness? Well, happiness, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. It gives you the opportunity to find places in your life for happiness, internally cultivated happiness. At some point, eventually, the external will start reflecting that. Or at that point, it doesn't even matter because life's just life and it can get a little messy sometimes, right? So if we look at it from a copy paste standpoint, we can be happy in this now moment, regardless of what's going on externally, and look at it as like a copy paste. So throughout your day tomorrow, look at your feelings. Are you feeling frustrated, annoyed, anxious, all stressed, right? Like those are all copy pastes. So what if we could get into the place where we're copy pasting something different? Let's say happiness. So that is all about, first one is stopping and not putting happiness in the future and putting happiness in the now, internally cultivating happiness. So let's say you're like, I just don't know where to begin. That's going to that place of opening up your heart, softening those edges. But it's also like gratitude. So gratitude is if I can't quite get into that place of happiness, I always go to gratitude. What can I be grateful about? Because again, we live in a world of copy, paste, copy, paste. If the closest thing I can get to happiness is gratitude, I'll take it. So, okay, what can I be grateful now? Like right in this moment. Okay, I have all 10 fingers and 10 toes. Oh, I found something to be happy about. So it might just be something stupid and little, and that's okay. But again, we just live in this copy paste universe. So you want to sit in frustration and anger and fear and have all those layered in there? Or can we just do our best to cultivate happiness internally? And if we're struggling with that, we could look at trying to open up our heart and also going to gratitude. So I challenge you to do that tomorrow. See how that feels and see if you can start to cultivate and start to bring that forward. So the next one, number 2, is complete acceptance of the now, like right now. A lot of times in coaching, I'll find that the person that I'm talking to is complaining, why me? Having a pity party, if only, why is this happening? So really just fighting the now, right? So you're in the now and you're fighting it. I can't believe this is happening. I am so frustrated. I can't even believe, right? Like, how often have we found ourselves in that place? But when we're doing that, we're literally fighting with reality. We're fighting with this moment. This moment's already here and you're fighting with it. Versus if we free up that energy of just, okay, I'm in total acceptance of where it is now, that then takes that laser beam that you have of like, just the heaviness of fighting with the now, and it then opens up the floodlight and it allows us to free up our energy to create. The now is already here. What's already done is done. What you think is happening for you or happening to you is happening for you, right? This could just be that next thing, that next step in your evolution. So taking a look at, am I fighting with the now, or can I just sit in total acceptance of the now, free up that energy and use it to create? Like, how many times have we heard the story that that thing that you thought was the worst thing ever actually ended up being the best thing ever? I could tell you, like, personally, how many stories, right? Like, that was the worst thing ever. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going through this. And then, 3 months later, it just turns into like, oh my God, that was the best thing ever. I didn't realize it at the time. So those kind of things, like if you look at it from no longer fighting with the now, but looking at it from the place of now is now, It already happened. It is what it is. I can sit in the energy of like low vibration, poor me, woe is me. I can't believe this is even happening. Or you could just say, I totally accept what happens right now in this moment. I'm not going to fight with it. And I'm going to free up that energy to use it to create. So, what is my attention going towards? I want it to point it towards my intention. So spending some time creating your intention so you can point your attention there versus putting your attention on the low vibrations of the complaining, the pity party, the why me. And it's okay to have those moments. But if you can catch yourself and be like, oh, okay, oh, I see what's going on. I'm putting all my energy into being a victim right now. Okay, I can actually free up my energy by looking at this as I totally accept what's happening right now. I'm going to open up the floodlight of awareness. I'm going to now start to create. What do I want to create? I now have the opportunity to point my attention towards my intention and take that energy and put it somewhere else. So I'm not saying that we love what's going on, but we can't do anything about it. We're already here. We're already in this moment, and we can't fight against it. So I'm going to read a statement and I'm going to have you like try it on and see how it feels. So this is a statement that I actually work with every morning. So I'll say it twice. So today I will accept people, situations, circumstances, and events as they occur. I will not struggle against the whole universe by struggling against this moment. Everything as it should be because it is. So I'm going to say that again. So we're going to try this on. Today I will accept people, situations, circumstances, and events as they occur. I will not struggle against the whole universe by struggling against this moment. Everything as it should be because it is. It is. Like it's already here. It is. So we just are going to have to roll with what we have. But what if we take on the thought that the universe has our back? We might not like this moment in the now. We might, kind of feels heavy and icky. But what if we kind of sit with the thought that the universe has our back? We loosen up our grip, loosen up fear, and just rather than fighting with this moment, we fully accept it for what it is. And we just try to loosen it up a little, right? So again, it might feel a little sticky. It might it takes practice. This isn't something you just kind of like leap right into and you're all set. There's going to be lots of stories. So the people that I work with, like in my intuitive coaching, people will fight to have the rightness of how wronged they were by somebody, or how much they're fighting the moment. They're fighting for their victim. They're fighting to be sitting here versus they could free up that energy to go create. Okay, the moment is here. What are we going to create? We can't do anything about it. We're already here in this moment, in this place. We're going to free up that energy to now go create something. And we have the ability to point our attention towards our intentions. So really kind of getting into the space of, okay, it is what it is. What do I want to bring in? What am I calling in? What is the next step in my evolution? Where do I want things to go? Like I live in a world of endless possibilities. Anything could happen. And I'm not going to fight this moment so that way I can free up my energy, and I'm just going to let the universe do its thing. The universe has my back, and I'm going to free up this moment. I'm not going to fight with it. I'm not going to tell the universe how to bring me gifts. I'm just going to accept what I have at this moment and roll with it. So, that's kind of heavy, right? Like these are some heavy things. So again, the first one is stop with the happiness in the future and put happiness in the now. Number two, that we just reviewed, is totally accepting this moment so we can free up the energy to create. Now, the last one is kind of like one and two put together. It's actually one of my favorites to play with because it takes a little bit of like, wait, what? So This strategy is called advantage. Absolute everything that happens to you, advantage. You think it's the worst thing in the whole world? Advantage. You just keep telling the universe advantage. You're either going to force the universe to make it an advantage or you're telling the universe advantage. So, whatever is happening to you, good, bad, ugly, it does not matter. It is an advantage. So, if you can put your attention and intention towards what you're calling in, everything that happens in between there is an advantage. You don't have to tell the universe how this is going to happen. It's actually none of your business how. So if you loosen up the grip of control and just go to the place of advantage, you chip a nail, advantage. Your car doesn't start, advantage. Great, I get to call somebody and ask for help. Somebody maybe I haven't talked to in a while. Maybe AAA. I could even see if my if I renewed it or not. Like, it could be super stressful in the moment, but if you can switch your brain over to, and it's a skill, it's got to be cultivated, advantage. And you don't have to know how it's an advantage. So you just open up the labels, you open up this is the worst thing that's happening. I can't believe this is happening to me right now. And you just say, advantage. Okay, universe, you're going to go figure out how to use this to my advantage. And I'm going to continue to focus my energy on what I'm calling in for my future. What are my visions? What are my intentions? What am I cultivating and bringing in? And you're going to figure out a way to use this to my advantage. Or I'm sure you somehow already had this worked out, that this was just part of the plan. So, absolutely everything that happens is advantage. That can be a little sticky. Like at first, I really didn't like that strategy. I mean, like I knew it, but like at first I didn't like it because I really wanted to sit into are you freaking kidding me? How is this going to be to my advantage? This is like the worst thing in the whole wide world. There's no way this is my advantage. And you just, okay, I'm going to sit into the energy of advantage. I might not know right now how this is an advantage to me, but it is. So maybe I'm learning a skill. Maybe I'm opening up to something I didn't think of before. Maybe I had to reach out to somebody I haven't talked to in a long time. Maybe I have to learn to ask for help. So maybe there's some skills that are going to come up. Maybe this then prompts that next situation. Maybe it's part of the whole quantum crumbling. I don't know if you guys have heard that word before. It's actually one of my favorite right now is quantum crumbling. Like you're telling the universe what you want. It feels like your whole world is crumbling and falling apart. And you can sit into that moment of advantage. You can sit into the moment of like the universe has my back. It just happens to be a little bit of a comedian. Not quite sure if I'm in a drama or if I'm in a comedy show, right? Like, you can kind of look at it as, okay, like the universe, you got my back. Everything that happens is an advantage, and you're going to figure this out. Universe, I don't need to know how or why. Like, you're going to figure this out. So it's either you already know what the advantage is, or you're just going to have to sit in the energy of advantage. But this loosens up the labels. This helps turn that laser beam of like victim, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe this is happening to me. Like, ugh. And it just switches it and opens it up to more of a floodlight. So there are endless possibilities. We live in a universe of endless possibilities. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Like, $1 million could drop out of the sky. Like, it's really welcome to if it wants to. Like, I'm okay with that. So you just never know. So we live in a world of infinite possibilities. And by using advantage, continuing to appoint your attention and intention towards what you're calling in and cultivating, that is going to help everything in between there just come together how it will. You might not love every single second of it, but the universe has a million more options than our puny little brains have. Like, no, it needs to happen exactly this way, and I'm going to control every single little piece of it, and it has to happen exactly the way I want it because I know better than the universe, right? Like, that's the I know better than the universe. I'm going to try to control and manipulate and have it happen exactly the way I want it to. when the universe is like over here on this other end going like, oh, you just have to like sit through this little bit of bumpiness and I got you. Like it'll be okay. You needed to learn this lesson so that you can go get that thing that you want, or I can get you to the next level, right? You can get yourself out of victim consciousness. Like you had to have that slap in the face in order to get yourself to out of that victim consciousness. And I always look at it as like I'm super stubborn, like so stubborn. Sometimes the universe doesn't just slap me in the face, it straight out punches me in the face. And you're like, oh, I didn't listen to you before. I was sitting in frustration. I was sitting in stress. I was sitting in worry and anxiety, and just woes me, pours me in low levels of vibration. Sometimes you're just going to get totally smacked in the face, like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm just going to fully accept the moment for the way it is right now. And everything that happens is an advantage because I'm pointing my attention and intention to what I'm calling in. And it's not my business how. The universe has a million different ways it could happen. I live in a world of infinite possibilities. So that's a lot of information. Holy moly. I thank you so much for your time. I'm so honored that you guys stayed with me and you are willing to try this on. These are some big concepts. This is some heavy duty stuff. But from here, a lot of different things could start shifting for you. So spending some time in that energy of fully accepting an advantage, intention, attention, your world is going to get rocked.